better peaks.
Sick. My peaks are slightly worse, but still adequate.
Adequate peaks here on episode... I had this up for a second. Episode 23 of Shouting of a Static, a video game show and tell project. I am your host for the week, Mark, though this week, much like last week, having a host is not going to mean much, because there's only two of us on the show, and the other person is Dylan. Hello, Dylan. How you doing?
Hello again. How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm a bit tired today, so I'm hoping if I bring loads of energy into it, it'll amp me up, and I'll be on the ball for Shouting Over Static, a video game show and tell project, a show in which we talk about video games on the internet for no one to hear. Well, for everyone to hear, but no one listens.
Matt listens sometimes.
Yeah, to be fair, we've got 3 plays in the last 7 days according to the SoundCloud, and none of them were me, so...
Too good. We're basically celebrities now.
Dude, 3 people on the internet listen to my voice. That's more than probably most of the people on the planet.
Yeah. I imagine a good proportion of people don't have their voice on the internet at all. So
those people...
That sounded so posh.
Yeah, at all. Yeah.
At all.
I would say that those people are probably doing it right, if I'm honest.
Yeah, probably. I feel like we're clinging on to something of our youth here.
Yeah.
Not that we're much older than when we did it before, but...
I'm still the same age as when I did... No, I guess that's not quite true. We quit just before my birthday. We quit the last one. So yeah, you know what? I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm bringing hot new takes to the internet.
We stopped with hot takes at least good hot takes, 10 episodes ago.
What are you talking about? We never had any good hot takes.
We had a few. Early on, we had some... I can't remember what any of them are, but we had some banging hot takes. We were talking proper discourse about games, and now we're 2 podcasts in a row where we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so it's probably worth explaining why there's just 2 of us. It's Chores Week to bring a show to the table. Still. And, yeah, well, just like last week, Chores missing, and just like last week, Jack's missing, and it's maybe sort of, I don't know, partially my fault. I haven't been available the last couple of weekends, so we haven't been able to do the weekend record, but, neither's anyone else apart from you last weekend and Jack the weekend we just had, so... Yeah, I don't know.
It's all falling apart at the seams, man.
Don't worry, we're still getting together on Tuesdays at 6 p.m, Dylan.
Yeah, we're pretty consistent with our accidentally doing Tuesdays, so I'm proud of that. I'm pleased with us.
Tuesdays at 6 p.m. with my boy Dylan is where I want to be.
It's the name of our spin-off podcast.
Tuesdays, yeah, it's actually live streamed show, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. with my boy Dylan. That's the name, that's what it's about.
If that doesn't become our next step into the media enterprise that is Low Expectations Media, then frankly we're doing it wrong.
I think I agree.
What we talk about.
So this week, much like last week, we don't have a game to talk about, so we're just going to talk about games in general. However,
yeah,
much like last week, I've been really, really busy with work, so some video game playing has been 10 minutes of Stardew Valley on the Switch, and that's about it.
You have a Switch. Oh, you can't take... I keep forgetting this. You can't take it to work, which is, it would be so convenient.
If I could take it to work, I would be playing, a minimum an hour of video games a day. And that would be excellent.
Perfect. Yeah.
But I can't.
I've played a bit. I was away for a good proportion last week, but I did get back after they'd switched over the games with gold.
Cool.
So I've hooked up my Xbox with some sexy super hot business and have been replaying that.
Oh, yes. How far are you in it?
And no further than I got when we played it on the live stream nearly a year ago today.
That game is only 2 hours long, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but I was playing... I mean, it's only 2 hours long if you're good at it. I think I was probably playing for about 2 or 3 hours. No, 2 hours yesterday.
All right. You're probably quite close to the end then.
I think I am. It's starting to do all the ridiculous... Because, like, I was quite close to the end last time I played it, wasn't I? And I'm about at the same point.
Yeah.
And it's all the ridiculous stuff is happening. But that game is just incredible. It's slightly different on the Xbox, obviously. Like, using the controller just feels a bit... I think it's harder to be as cool in it, because you can overshoot with a analog stick quite easy.
Yeah, I have wondered since they announced those console ports how well that translates over. Do you reckon that do you feel like maybe there's a bit of aim assist in there on either end, like a bit of like
there's
soft?
Not aim
no,
assist
really.
That I can tell, no, because there's points where you have to have your cursor like directly on someone for like the hot switching and stuff like that. Spoilers.
Oh yeah. I remember. Oh yeah, shit. Oh man, they're so fucking good. Right, yeah.
And there's been a few times where I've sort of nudged the cursor to just be over like a sliver of a hand that I can see around a corner, and it didn't do any sort of locking on. But I do think so. You know how they say time's only moving when you're moving.
Yeah.
But on the PC version, at least, I always felt that when you're looking around, it still counts you as moving, but moving a bit slower. So time does... Obviously, you're not paused at any point, but I think when you're not moving in the console versions, time is slower still.
I'd believe
I've just felt that there's been points where I can look around where if I was on the PC, that would have got me killed. Like, I'll just be stood there for quite a while. So I think they've changed it a bit. And also, they don't have the cool shit where you have to, like, where they properly kick you out of the game and you have to reboot it. Because obviously it's a console game, they can't really do that.
Oh, shit. I completely forgot about all that stuff. Yeah, that stuff's like some of the best parts of that game.
So they still have the sort of story part of it, but they don't have the... I'll try not to spoil what's going on, because there is something to it. It's a bit...
Yeah. Do they still have, like, the text editor interface and stuff?
So they still have all that, but you're just typing with the triggers rather than, like, pretending to actually type and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, because you're never actually properly typing anyway, were you? So it didn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. And the bit where it, like, boots you out, you have to quit and then start it again to actually keep playing. You still do that, but obviously it never goes out the game. It just has, like, basically a little cutscene. It's not an actual cutscene, but like that sort of thing.
Okay.
It just restarts. So, like, it's not much different, and it still plays really... Like, it's really fun to play, and it's still just as infuriating at some points. But no, I've been having a good time with Superhot, and I'm looking forward to actually finally finishing it, because I can now.
Yeah, from memory, the end of that game's pretty nuts. Some stuff
I remember you telling me. There's also the other game. I've not had a chance to play yet, though. Quantum... Oh, fuck. Let me have it. But it's apparently made by the people who got
Quantum Break
brought on to make Portal. No, Quantum
Conundrum.
Not Break. Quantum Conundrum. There you go.
There are only two Quantum games. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it Kim, whatever her name is, who did Quantum Conundrum?
I'll have a check now, so we don't offend them by getting it wrong. But I know at least that it's someone who was involved with making Portal. So director Kim Swift.
Yeah, so she made Portal and then left to go and do Quantum Conundrum. Yeah, is my memory of how that went, because she didn't want to be involved in Portal 2, or didn't, because Quantum Conundrum's the one that has a bunch of like that also does a bunch of materials stuff. Because I remember when it came out, like after Portal 2, you could sort of see how someone who had ideas for Portal 2 could have left those ideas for Portal 2 and gone on to have similar ideas for a similar kind of game.
Yeah, definitely. You can. I've had a look at it briefly, and you can definitely see the sort of the influence and the connections there. And it looks really cool. It looks really interesting. So I'm quite excited to have a go at that, because a lot of the games I end up getting on Games with Gold are I just never play, or I play a tiny bit of. So I hope this one is actually one that's caught my attention. I want to give a good go to, and I mean it's got good reviews. So hopefully it'll actually be pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember when that came out, and people seemed to think it was pretty good. But I don't. I think I'm trying to remember because I never ever played it because at the time, I think like at the time I wasn't playing like a huge amount of PC games, and then like by the time it came out to the PS3, I feel like I'm getting this right. I'd sort of moved on, but if memory serves, yeah, like a lot of the talk about it was like it had good puzzle stuff to it,
Yeah.
but maybe didn't quite have the same charm as like Portal, even though it tried for it. I don't know what I'm talking about because the Windows and console versions came out like less than a month apart. So maybe I just at the time just wasn't following games quite enough to pick up on like a smaller indie game. That's probably more likely. But I don't know. Yeah, it seems cool. The stuff I've seen like heard about it since seems cool. Like all the material stuff because it's the one where like you like go into like the fluffy dimension and then everything's really light, and then you go into like the rubber dimension, and everything's really bouncy or something, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's what I've seen from it. It's just you can sort of affect how materials interact and things like that, which seems like a fun idea. I'm looking forward to some hopefully not too taxing puzzles because otherwise I just get bored.
Did you actually play much like Portal 1 and 2?
I finished Portal and I think I finished Portal 2. I got quite close to the end at least. But I've played both of them like fairly extensively.
Yeah.
So I do really like that sort of stuff, and I think there's certain types of puzzle games that I really enjoy, and then there's some where the puzzle kind of just seems to be that it's hard to find what you're looking for rather than actually solving a puzzle.
Yeah, that's not really a puzzle, is it?
Yeah, it's like you need to press a button to open a door, but the button's just like hidden. I think that's just a bit shit, and I imagine lots of people do. But the puzzles where there's something to actually solve, I really enjoy. So it seems like my kind of game.
It'd be cool. I'd be interested to hear you like report back on that.
Sure I will next time.
Yeah, see what the sitch is.
Apparently, also Bloodborne is the free one for PlayStation.
Bloodborne and the Ratchet and Clank game for PS4.
Yeah.
And I
was talking to.
I have both of them on disc. Sorry, you said you were talking to who?
No. I was talking to Mikey about them. He was very excited to be playing Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Not so much about Bloodborne, because I think he also has that, but very excited to get some Ratchet and Clank action going on.
Yeah, like just before Christmas, I thought I was going to play some like PlayStation games over Christmas, and so I bought like a grip of them, and ended up Nier Automata ended up taking me like far more hours than I expected. Like I expected it to be much more of like a short platinum game, like Bayonetta was like pretty like quick to run through, but it ended up being more like a proper JRPG and sucking up like 40 hours of my time. So I never actually ended up touching.
Yeah.
Because I got Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank both off Amazon on disc for like £10 each or something, and then just haven't actually had a chance to touch them since because I got into some other shit, and then yeah, they gave them away for free this month, and I was fucking I don't know. I didn't feel bad, but I didn't feel great about it either.
It's a bit annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's something I just noticed when I was looking for that Quantum Conundrum thing. Sea of Thieves comes out tomorrow.
What? That was really loud and blew out all my audio. Sorry, that was terrible. Hopefully Levelator deals with that. Sea of Thieves comes out tomorrow, officially?
Yeah, tomorrow. Or maybe this is old? Today, in fact. This is a day old, this article I found. Sea of Thieves is out today, and not only that, it's the first AAA game to release alongside, like, to be put on Game Pass at release.
Oh, cool.
So it means that if I want, I could just play it for free, because I've still got those 14 days free trial to give a shot, which I might honestly do.
Oh man, that's really cool. I hope that game gets enough of a player base that it keeps going and gets some love.
I hope so too, but the fact that you didn't even know it was out today.
Yeah, that's not great, is it?
Says a lot about how much they've put into that, which is a bit of a shame. Because, I mean, there's rarely a game that you were unaware is coming out as sort of...
Yeah,
especially one that we, I remember watching that trailer for Sea of Thieves at E3, and we all thought it looked fucking brilliant. And so the fact that even you've missed that is maybe a bit sad.
Yeah, I was checking Kotaku yesterday, but also Kotaku UK, which we get forced to watch, isn't the best. It does skim a really weird selection of articles from regular Kotaku and then add in its own. It is very bizarre. So maybe I just missed it, but I knew it had gone into that beta, but I thought it was out later. Shit, man, cool.
Yeah, no, apparently today. Also, seeing this thing, it looks like Crackdown 3 and State of Decay are also going to be debuting on Game Pass, because those are both on this picture, but I've not heard anything about them either. But yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I think I'll actually have a look into getting that, because I remember...
Yeah.
I remember seeing that and properly being like, yeah, this could be... As long as you've got a group of people to play with it, I think that would be really cool. I think alone it might fall apart. I don't think it'll be that fun to play with alone. Like a Tom and his Destiny raids. It's that just kind of that, isn't it?
Yeah, what I've heard coming out of that beta was that if you tried to play it alone, it doesn't have... There aren't even really mechanisms in the game to play it alone, really. It seemed like if you played it alone, you would really struggle to... It would be almost prohibitively intensive to try and crew a ship by yourself. You would have to be trying to manage the sails and the rudder and everything else, and because you can't do those things simultaneously, the impression I got at least was that you'd have to be doing a lot of pretty miserable micromanagement. It didn't seem like a great thing to play. I don't know. It seems like a cool game though. I would love to know what other stuff it has in it, because coming out of the beta, everyone seemed to say oh no, it's got a lot of cool systems in it, and the cooperative stuff's really great, but it seems kind of aimless, and there's these hints of loot and stats, but there's not really there yet, so I don't really know what the point of the game was. Or that seemed to be what I was hearing coming out of it. So I'd be well interested to know what the full release has in it.
Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll get... Yeah, thinking about that as well. It's I want to have a look at what's in it, and I think it would be really cool, but Jack's got an Xbox, but he's quite busy. And also, I don't want to be paying for it, so I get 14 days to give it a shot, so it's probably a bit too hard to actually team up with anybody. But we'll see how it goes. I'll definitely keep an eye on it, because it looks like it could be a really fun thing.
I would love to see what the reviews come out saying.
Yeah, me too.
I think there's...
One thing sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think there is potential there, so it'd be sweet if it worked out.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really cool idea for just something to be playing. One thing I haven't seen, I can't even remember what the name is. I think it was Skull and Bones or something. Yeah,
the Ubisoft one.
It's either the same E3 or the EVE after. Yeah, and it was just Black Flag without the assassin stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was just the boat part of Black Flag. But I've not seen anything from that since either.
I remember hearing that it was them trying to push a new esport, and it was going to be super competitive, and then immediately excising it from my life, because that sounded like it wouldn't be good. And what I was hoping it would be we understand that Black Flag was beloved, and we're going to take all the pirate sim stuff about getting resources and sailing a boat around and then like boarding other ships and fighting people and getting involved in that. But then I ended up hearing stuff about it being like this weird esports game or something. Like,
that's a bummer. Because they don't have any of the boarding stuff today. You just board, and at least from what we saw, it just sort of did a loading bar, and then you moved on. And I think, like, yeah, I get they're taking out the assassins part, but at the same time, that boarding bit of sailing those boats, I think was one of the coolest parts. Like, jumping between boats like an assassin was dope as shit.
Yeah, man.
So,
and when you could land in the middle of a boat and then you could just like jam the pistol button like 4 times in a row and fire 4 pistol shots and just fucking murder everybody. It was great.
Yeah. But I think with that taken out, it lost a lot of the appeal that I would have found from it. But I can understand that a lot of people really liked the just fucking boating around listening to shanties.
I bet it still have shanties in it.
I think it did, didn't it? I think in the trailer we saw, it had the shanties from Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Okay, yes, it says here on the page for Skull and Bones, it's tactical action game, open world environment, third person perspective. Take control of a customizable pirate captain and choose to sail the Indian Ocean by themselves and set off on a single player campaign, or accumulate up to 5 other players to ally or engage in combat with in disputed waters. Okay, so it looks like there is more to it. There is a single player, so that's exciting to know.
Yeah.
Because I had definitely heard that they were pushing a bunch of like esports stuff into it and making it like weirdly competitive. So if it does have a single player, that's promising. Because I spent more time in Black Flag, like running around on islands, fighting pirates and collecting like pelts so that I could be a better pirate, so that I could get more money, so that I could upgrade my boat, so that I could fight other boats, than I did actually doing the Assassin's Creed stuff. Like, the Assassin's Creed stuff was fine, but it was sailing around and like going and exploring islands to get loot and pelts so that you can hold more pistols and shit was sweet.
Yeah, for sure. I think those sort of things are those extra things that Assassin's Creed tends to have seem to be the, I think, most fun parts. Speaking of, this is a brilliant segue. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, have you seen the new Origins like expansion?
No.
I saw the first trailer for it the other day, and it's maybe yesterday, in fact, and it's just completely fucking off the wall.
Oh yeah.
They've gone like proper mental with it, because obviously Assassin's Creed, since 2 at least, maybe the end of 1, I can't really remember, they've had ridiculous mystical shit in it, right? But most of the time Assassin's Creed has always felt at least semi-real. But they've gone like full-on magic. You've got pharaohs and shit, and like giant scorpions. And like actual... It's the Curse of the Pharaohs, I think, is the name.
Cool. That sounds fucking sweet, man. Yeah, okay.
And they've gone fucking crazy. So this thing I've just... So you do a bunch of stuff with an artifact, whatever. So this thing that I'm reading says, it gets weird when long-dead pharaohs of Egypt, dressed in armour and carrying huge weapons, start turning up randomly across the map and massacring civilians.
Fuck.
So then you essentially go to where all of the former pharaohs used to live and start messing about there. And it's like full-on, you're exploring that afterlife or something of Egypt. You're dealing with dead pharaohs and crazy monsters.
It's perfect. We've spoken about Undead Nightmare on this show before, right? The Red Dead expansion. Yeah, it's so good. I love a good... I think back in the day, he says, as if he was around when this happened, but either way, back in the day, they used to call them like total conversions. I mean, they still like a lot of the modding community still does, right? Like that's that fucking Stellaris mod that I downloaded. That was a total conversion mod that changed all the races to Star Trek races. But yeah, like I love a good TC when they take the game and then they just fill it full of really insane off the wall shit like zombies or Pharaoh ghosts.
Yeah, which is you're full on having just read a tiny bit more. You're full on in the afterlife. So yeah, they've it's like you say a full on conversion. It seems, and you're running around bits of the original map, but afterlife-ified.
That's brilliant.
Which seems just fucking insane, and just kind of not crazier than anything they've done before. Because they've had that, you were talking to a ghost from the future. A ghost was, God, I don't know what it was talking to you through the past or whatever. That was all mad in that first few Assassin's Creeds. But this is like that madness to a full-on extent, more than just those little snippets. Like, this is the actual game now, rather than just some Desmond bullshit.
That's so good. So, like, what was the other mad one Ubisoft did? Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yeah. God, that's good though, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not afraid to get weird with it. Have you played Assassin's Creed Origins, Dylan?
No, I really want to. I've seen a lot of things about it, and it looks really fun. And one of my friends has got it, and he says he was saying if you like Assassin's Creed, then it's brilliant. So I definitely want to give it a go, but I just haven't got around. Like, I just don't buy new AAA games anymore, which is a shame.
Yeah. Me neither, man. It's not even like I don't have the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can play smaller games and like multiplayer games because you can play just like a little bit of it, but playing a full-on Assassin's Creed game, I don't know when I'd ever fit it in. We struggle enough to fit in recording this show.
Yeah, dude. Like, I've been playing Yakuza 0 for started playing that game in like August.
Yeah.
Like, I've played other things in the time since. Like, it's not been every single time I get a free moment play some Yakuza 0, but like, it's taken me since August to get in like 40 hours of that. I guess, like I said, like over Christmas, I did Nier Automata, and that was a bunch of time, other shit. But either way, yeah, like it's times like over Christmas is when I have to play some video games because
yeah,
we picked a really good time in our lives to start doing a podcast.
Really great. We're nailing it. At least we actually keep up to date with the things, and then, just don't have an actual formed opinion of anything.
Yeah, it's just us reading Wikipedia articles and Kotaku articles and fucking regurgitating what we heard on podcasts and being like, it's probably pretty good. We're not the best source for news, are we?
Nah, but I mean, that's not what we're for. We're for, Matt to feel like he's got friends around.
Yeah.
Put it on that.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck him, he's skiing all the time. He can take it. Yeah, fight me, Matt.
If anyone who isn't Matt is listening to this, which, to be fair, unlikely, but if they are, it's going to be really weird.
Yeah, like anybody called Matt listening to this, you can't fight me. There's only one Matt, so unless you know that you're that Matt, don't fight me.
Don't fight.
I think that's
fair. We should
some pretty solid advice.
We should probably plug Matt. Like, he's got his own YouTube channel with like subs and shit. Like, I feel.
Does he have a YouTube channel? He's got like a Facebook page, doesn't he? I don't know if he wants us to plug that though.
Yeah, we're probably not actually. Not that it's actually going to get him any traffic, but we're probably not the best people.
We talk about him so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Maybe
what a guy.
We'll ask him, and then if he's fine with it, next time he can get a plug.
Yeah, all right. That works out.
I'm sure he'll love that.
Well, I don't know. Short and sweet. I don't really feel like we've actually gained anything else from this. Sea of Thieves is coming out. If anyone listens to this, or it has come out, if anyone's listening to this tomorrow, and you are apparently even less clued in than we are, but for some reason listening to the most obscure video game podcast, then Sea of Thieves came out yesterday. Go play it.
Yeah, and let us know how it is. Comment below. Because we're not going to play it.
No, I'm not. Well, yeah, I've got loads of other things that I'd rather play than Sea of Thieves at the moment. I've got a backlog that's just growing longer and longer.
Yeah, same. Oh, man. What a sad life being an adult is. Maybe if this podcast took off, we could just focus on that and just play games, but no. First, you actually have to be playing games.
Yeah. It's the chicken and egg situation, except for in the chicken and egg situation, you actually have both the chicken and an egg. And we don't have the time or the podcast.
What came first, the time to play games or the successful podcast about playing games?
It's like imagine if someone in a world that never actually had chickens or eggs, someone says, "What came first, the chicken or the egg?" Neither of those things exist. What are you talking about?
Those are just made-up words.
Hypotheticals.
What came first, the floggle or the boogle-guff?
The age-old idiom.
Yeah, I think we've had some pretty. It was definitely more coherent than our last Mark and Dylan make another podcast. That one was kind of all over the shop. At least here we actually spoke about stuff.
Yeah, like if we have to do another one of these, it's just going to be a half-hour news show.
Yeah, we're getting more and more professional. I'm very proud of us.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a half-hour news show with some charmingly garrulous hosts.
Maybe some fucking visuals. Who knows? It's a podcast, but there'll be visuals. That's how good it's going to be.
What kind of visuals? We're talking like we've accidentally taken a bunch of acid and we're getting some like mad visuals, or like you want me to put this to a video?
No, there's a warning before the next show. Is that you've got to drop some acid before listening and then just trip along with us.
Well, like that.
That's professional podcasting.
Well, like that Crystal Method song. God, that is professional podcasting. You're not wrong.
See, I'm actually just imagining the BBC Breakfast set, but with me and you talking just complete nonsense about things we don't know about.
Cool.
Get guests in who are making new and current games, and we're just like, don't know who you are. Not up to date. Sorry. Talk about Halo and Titanfall again, though.
I've played both of those.
Games pre-2017, pretty good on.
Yeah, September 2017 was apparently when I stopped playing video games.
Oh, God. Maybe we should switch up our podcast. Talk about the state of finances. Fuck, I don't know about that.
My commute.
What the train's like every day.
I don't know.
At the end of each week, you just give us a roundup. Anything interesting happen? Yeah, that guy tripped, had a tasty bagel. That's about it. Fun week.
It's the Mark train omnibus.
Yeah. Just record a little bit each day and then we'll squish them together, release it all on a Wednesday.
Oh, I love squishing things together.
You know it.
Speaking of, I might go squish some food together. I think we'll call that a tight half hour of news.
I think we've done a good job. Well, we need to plug our final things, right?
Yes, excuse me. We do need to plug our final things. If only I had a cough button on this headset, but I don't. You can find us at Low Expectations Media on YouTube. Don't actually think that last week's show went up, so what's going to happen today is you're going to get a double blast. However, that doesn't matter because what happens on Low Expectations Media, the YouTube channel, is everything's a few weeks out of sync, or it's like a week out of sync anyway, because you can find us on the bleeding edge of hashtag content on iTunes at Shouting Over Static. Is there a URL there? No, just Shouting Over Static.
Yeah. And SoundCloud, right? Same thing. Also Shouting Over Static.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, SoundCloud and iTunes, Shouting Over Static. You can find us there. That's where we are every Wednesday. Ostensibly, there's more than us, but no, it's probably just going to be me and Dylan again next week too, because apparently that's just what we do now.
Burn on Jack and Shaw.
Yep. Come back next week for Mark and Dylan shout over the news.
Yeah, that is what we're doing. See ya.
Bye.